Hello peeps and peepers, Etho here again with episode 17, and I guess I'm kind of in trouble with you guys, because as Eleanor pointed out, I'm not really upholding my rule number 4 of the Let's Play videos, which is I'm supposed to be showing you guys the stuff I build as I build it. And so I'm kind of guilty of that, and it's like one guy left a comment, it's like, you better at least build the timer on video. And while I was reading that, I was like, oh dang, I already have the timer all built and everything. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I will try build more in my videos. Another guy said, you know, I would rather watch you build this mob thingamajig instead of watching you go to the nether. But the thing is, you know, this thing could probably be built in like 15 minutes, which would have filled an episode nicely. But me actually inventing this thing and working out the kinks and everything took well over 3 hours, which would take over 12 episodes. Because I also think slower when I'm trying to talk and build things at the same time. So those 12 episodes would be me just getting lighty here. Those 12 episodes would just be me walking around incoherently and going, you know. So I'm going to try build more on camera though. And same with this timer thing, you know. It took well over 2 hours to design it and another like hour to wire it. And that would be another 12 episodes, and nothing would ever get done in our world here. And I want to build lots of different things. But I'm going to explain how this works in a sec. And episodes after this I'll try to build more on camera. And I'm going to run you through the thought process I had with the timer. So in our last episode, episode 16, I started building this thing. Pretend these dirt blocks, these floating ones, are slow sand. And let's get some boats. So the concept with this timer was the boat would travel along here, and this would be the interval, or the time passed. And how do I explain this? I was going to have a stack of boats here. So say the time it takes to go from here to and around, say that was 30 seconds. To make 5 minutes, I would need 11 boats. And what would happen is, when a boat gets to here, for example, it would send another one. And eventually, all 11 boats would get sent. They would be stacked here and on this pressure plate. Once the 11th boat leaves here, it would trigger that, hey, 5 minutes have passed. And then they would go up, and I started building what do you call it, my minecart gate, a modified version of it here. And I modified it so that it would hold a stack of boats. And I did that by removing the corner here, so that the boat would run against this wall here, and the corner of the boat would bump into the corner of this one. And then an inverted stack of boats would form underneath this boat. So I'll show you how that worked. I think it still works. And obviously this is very rough because I never actually finished this, because it was getting stupidly complicated and big. And also, so I have an inverted stack of boats here underneath the minecart gate thing. And so this was to be the reset button. So if I would pick up the items, the timer would get reset, and this stack of boats would fall back over here onto a stack here, and it would go again. But then I realized that this inverted thing didn't work, because the boats do that. So I would have to make it fall onto the minecart gate, and I kind of had one of those what the heck am I doing moments and thought this was way too complicated, it's not worth doing. And I needed to try something simpler. So this was our first model. Then I came up with this idea. So the goal with this idea was to make the timer simpler and smaller, but most importantly smaller. And as some of you also pointed out in the comments, since I'm measuring the time it takes for an item to despawn, I should basically just sacrifice an item, and when it despawns it should trigger that the time is up. So I thought I had this figured out. I don't know if you can see it, but I got a door here and a water stream leads off to a pressure plate. I figured I need 2 pressure plates to do it. The first one would be the one that has the item that despawns, and the second one would be where the items would drop. So if I had a stream of items coming, the first one that hits this pressure plate would open the door, and then all the following items would fall down, ideally onto another pressure plate. But then I realized it's impossible to make the items fall onto a pressure plate down here, because you must have a block underneath the door. So I couldn't put a pressure plate below here. So this idea didn't work. So then I moved on to the next idea. Same concept except with my minecart gate, which is broken at the moment, it seems, unfortunately. But the way this worked was the item stream would come, and the items would get pushed around, and one would hit this pressure plate, the boat would move out of the way, and then the items would fall down onto another pressure plate. But the problem was the boat didn't occupy a full block space, and items weren't able to make it across. So, and unfortunately the boat is stuck in the land right now, so I can't show you. Then this was a failed attempt to make the boat fit in a block space. Like right now, this area here is in a full block space, this boat. But if you adjust the levers here, you'll notice it just goes past here. That's 1, 2, then you have to trigger it a 3rd time to make it stop where we want it. So this was another failed idea. And then finally, as some of you also suggested in the comments, I should use a dispenser. And that worked awesome. So this was my prototype I used to build it. First I'll show you what how the timer works, and then we'll come back to there. So right now, oh man. Bow fight! Wait, wait. Ouch. My game is getting laggy. Oh, great. I'm starting to think switching to a RAM disk was not a good idea. Okay. So the idea with the timer was, if items are despawning and it's time to pick them up, these lights will be flashing. If there's no items, the lights go off. And if there are items, the lights come on. So we'll just throw an item here. And that triggers the dispenser, which shoots out a feather. Lands on the second plate, which makes the lights go on. And once this feather despawns after 5 minutes, it'll start triggering the flashing, which means it's time to pick up your items or else you're going to disappear. So it's easier to see how this works with this prototype I built. I built this first. This is the one, this is the pressure plate the items land on. This is the one the feather timer lands on. So we'll call this one A, this one B. So A connects to an AND gate here. And it also connects to the dispenser here, which shoots the block, which falls onto pressure plate B, the timer plate. And the timer plate, pressure plate B, has a wire that leads over to the AND gate as well. And also, there's a 5 clock here, which triggers the flashing, which is connected to the wire as well. And then the signal gets inverted, and this is our light. So the feather didn't land on the pressure plate. Yeah, that's why I'm using water to guide the feather onto the pressure plate too, because the dispenser shoots it out unreliably. So there's no feather on this pressure plate, which indicates it despawned, which means it's time to pick up your items. So it was flashing. If there's nothing on, it's off. If something's on both of them, it stays on, because it's sending a signal which overrides the 5 clock here and goes to the AND gate. And I'm using feathers because they're the most useless mob item, so I don't care if I lose a few. And the way this looks over here, let's lower the volume a bit. So the water streams merge, and they go to this one, which is where the items come from. You got the dispenser there. Shoots out the feather, which lands onto pressure plate B. And the items always come on this side of the block, the right side. The dispenser shoots it to the left side, So they clump together on both pressure plates. So that when I pick them up, I make sure I always grab from off of both pressure plates. And then I got the levers for the doors junctions still. So it works pretty good. The odd time this wire will trigger the dispenser. Even though when I tested it, it didn't. Like when I flipped the door junction. I think if there's an item on the pads, it does that. Yeah, now it's not shooting a feather out. So. And it flashes for a while until the first, the feather falls down. Then it stops flashing until it despawns. And let's go look down at the wiring, which took me a good hour. It's gonna be hard to see where to start. Okay, so this U ring here next to the two indicator lights. This one here, which goes up, sends a signal up through this block here to one of the indicator lights, and then this one goes to the other indicator light, which sends a signal up through this block. And this lit up wire here is from pressure plate A, the one where the items land on. It's a little hard to move around in here. This is what the item pressure plate activates, and it sends a wire to the dispenser, which is over there. There's no space in here, and I can't really break out these blocks because there's water above me. It sends a signal underneath these blocks here to this torch, which goes up and through here, and then the dispenser's above. And it also sends a wire to the AND gate. Same exact thing as above that I showed you. And this wire here is from pressure plate B, the one that the despawning feather is on. It sends, there's a redstone torch right there, it sends a signal down, and it gets inverted back to the proper way. Runs along the wire. We got the 5 clock here, which is overrides. And it goes to the AND gate. The AND gate goes up here. Torch signal to this block, then sends a torch signal up to our indicator lights. So yeah, big pain to build it. I have no idea how to get out of here now. Another reason why I didn't want to build this on camera, besides it taking too long, is you guys probably would have got claustrophobic down here and dizzy from me moving the camera all over the place. And yeah. So it's all done. Quite happy with the timer. And I am lagging again. Alright, sorry about that. I just checked and I guess we're about out of time too. So we're gonna wrap it up here, and I'm gonna work on my rule number 4 some more. Hopefully, we'll build more things together from now on. Sometimes I just get carried away building things, and I don't want to stop. So I'll work on it. We'll build more things together. But at the same time, I refuse to upload 12 incoherent episodes of me building things like that. We have to reach some kind of compromise. And even like building this thing, I actually had to go to YouTube and check out how to build a minecart gate because I forgot. I had to look at my tutorial. And I had to draw diagrams on paper. Like we couldn't have done that together anyway. So we'll have to reach some kind of compromise. But anyway, if you guys want, we need to figure out what kind of flooring we're going to use in our storage room and what kind of walls. Like, should we build with wood or sandstone, that type of thing. I'll let you guys help choose, and whatever gets the most votes, that's what we'll build. So, any ideas on that is definitely welcome. Actually, any ideas are welcome. So, rambling now, so I'm going to say goodbye and thanks for watching.